Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maureen O'Connor from Quilters Heaven in Northbrook, Illinois, and I am the Opinionated Quilter. Today's episode, number 124, is more piecing efficiency. But before we get to that, let's get to my opinion. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know I am not a fan of crumb quilts. Well, Karen Brown has absolutely done it. She made a king-sized crumb quilt that's beautiful. We'll put a link to her video in the description. In this quilt, she did everything that I say don't do, which is throw everything in there. I always say pick a color scheme or a theme of fabric. Don't take your Halloween and put it in with 30s prints and Christmas. She threw everything in. What made it work? The one thing that I do say, have a unifier. In her quilt, she made blocks where she used adding machine tape as a foundation. And she has a link to her adding machine tape video in the video of this quilt. But she took a section of the crumb quilt, adding machine tape pieces, and put in between it a very small divider. And in her case, it was blue. You can use any divider you want as long as it's the same kind of color throughout. It doesn't have to be the exact same fabric, but it has to read the same kind of color. And when you get to king size, you might run out of fabric. And hers took her several years to do it. So you could buy the fabric, try to go back and buy more, and it's not going to be there. Don't worry about that. Go ahead and just find something that blends with it enough. And she made blocks, and lots of them. And then she even carried out the shape of the squares into the setting triangles and the corner triangles. And she did have to deal with bias edges, which, if I recall her words exactly, not ideal. But because she knew she was dealing with them, you take care, you can stay stitch. Sometimes you have to break your rules, even though there's not quilt police, to achieve the look you're going for. Sometimes you make an aesthetic decision that causes you a little bit of an issue somewhere else. Well, we want our quilts to look good, so you deal with those things. And that's what she did. I highly encourage you to watch this video. She made a beautiful crumb quilt. Can you believe that I just said that? Now, let's get to the episode. Be sure to stay tuned for the winner of last week's giveaway and the announcement of this week's giveaway. On to piecing efficiency, one of my favorite topics. I was watching an Edita Sitar YouTube video where she made a block that she called, I don't want to say it wrong, Babsia square. And to me, I saw immediately a trip around the world. I have behind me a whole quilt of trip around the world. This is actually regular many trips around the world. And you can see that this is pretty much the same block. Different sizes. And this is individual blocks with a background. This just continues on and on and on and on. This regular many trips around the world, you've seen this book before, Tradition with a Twist, no longer in print. Great book. Look for it on Amazon. But anyway, Edita Sitar does beautiful work. She is super, super precise. I remember her doing a Lemoyne Star a couple years ago, and she did it absolutely the hardest way possible with Y seams and just the hardest way you could possibly make a Lemoyne Star. And in her Polish accent, she says, "See how easy it is." And I'm like, that wasn't easy. And her points were perfect. everywhere. So before I make this one little thing about efficiency, just remember, I love her work. She is really precise and really good. But in this example, I think you could make this block much more efficiently. Let me show you what she did and how I would suggest you do it. Editor has you make one block at a time. Now these are 7-inch blocks. So if you're going to be doing something that's say a quilt that's 63 by 70, that means you need 90 blocks. So you're not going to have, if you have a bundle of fat quarters, which is what the kit she's selling for this quilt, you're not going to have 90 different combinations, most likely, that you can find from a fat quarter bundle that you like the fabrics together. So to me, doing one at a time isn't efficient. What she does in her video is pretend these are the strip sets. So she has 4 strip sets per block. So here I've got 4 stacked up. Obviously there'd be seams in here, and you want to make sure that your seams aren't hitting each other so that they're flat. But she has you cut 6.5-inch pieces. And then she needs 4 cuts from here to make one block. So she does have to even up one end, and then she cuts and then has to move the set away. Now this I'd have to flip and trim the little extra off. And now she then puts the next one down, cuts, pulls it away, cuts, pulls it away, and does the last cut. And then these strip sets would make one block. To me, it would be much more efficient since you have a fat quarter. The length of the strip sets would fit under your stripology ruler. Now, I'm not going to cut these on camera for you. You all know how to use a stripology ruler. But these are the actual 4 strip sets that I use to make the block I showed you. And you stack them up so your seams aren't on top of each other, so you keep it as flat as you can. You line your bottom up with one of your lines. You want to kind of check to make sure everything's staying straight up here. And you're cutting 1.5-inch strips. Now I've already cut off one block, so I'm short one. I'll only get enough for 2 out of this one that's left. But you simply cut, and you keep going to the 1.5s are marked by stars. Cut, cut, cut all the way across, and you will get enough for 3 blocks if you have the full width of fabric of a fat quarter, which is obviously a half a width. So you're going to repeat this combination probably anyway if you're coming from a fat quarter bundle. But this is, to me, much more efficient. I'm not cutting, moving, cutting, moving, cutting, moving. And I'm doing 3 at a time. So I think the pattern, to me, what I can see of it, I haven't read the pattern, but just the block pattern is something that I really like. And it, to me, would be a great use of fat quarters, since you pretty much will use the whole strip set for the blocks. So I like the block. The only thing I would change is the methodology of how you get there. So now let's get to the winner of the giveaway. The winner of the Swirly Girls quilt top is Christy Williams, 9181. Please send me your mailing address to quiltersheaveninc@gmail.com so I can get it out to you. This week's giveaway is another side lights. We had a different version of the same pattern earlier. Am I holding it up right? No, it's upside down. Let's try it right side up. It's quite lovely. Just, another one that I just am never going to get to because there's too many. It's 47 by 54, so pretty good lap size, or you could make it a wall quilt, whatever you want to do with it. It's a giveaway. You get to choose what you do with it. And to enter to win, you will need to like this video, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And in the comment, put in side lights. And when you do that, you'll be entered to win. So that's this week's episode. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, happy sewing.